Thank you for. I'm trying to find the person who's speaking on the screen who just testified. Thank you, Jeremy, under Representative Linu, for testifying today. I just had a question. You mentioned that you had gotten copies of the deposition for the lawsuit in Hartford that I understand was withdrawn. Would you be able to send those to the committee so we would be able to see those depositions on what you described?
Yes, I could send the depositions to the city.
Okay, that would be
from the city to the committee. Would you like me to address it?
The city, right?
Yeah, to the committee, absolutely. And now, there's a bunch of depositions. I would suggest sending the two from the city of Hartford. Howard Rifkin, he was the attorney, and he was speaking on behalf of the city of Hartford. And then there was also a person from their local Department of Health. So those would be the two that I would suggest seeing, but I can send more if you'd like.
No, I mean, because that came up in our previous 3 years of hearing this bill, that Hartford was in the middle of a lawsuit, and so if I understand that lawsuit has been withdrawn, and having a deposition that sort of counters some of the information that we've been previously been told would be, I think, helpful in decision making for many on this committee. The other thing is, I don't know if I heard you say this or not, but how many women has your organization helped since you've been open, or your doors are open?
Yeah, that's a hard one to tell because there was, before computers, we had paper files. So, but I mean, if we went working off of estimates of what we do per year, we're talking thousands of women.
And have you ever received any complaints on the service that you provide? Excuse me. Or have you known of anybody who has complained to DCP about the services that you provide, whether they be faith-based or not?
Yeah, so we have never received any complaints through the state or through our local cities at all, as far as anything having to do with our organization. However, I mean, we have gotten a couple Google reviews, because there's a concerted effort out there from pro-abortion activists to actually get together, like on a Friday night, open up a bottle of wine, and make fake reviews on pregnancy centers all around the state. So we've had to deal with that. However, they weren't actual clients. They've just been mainly college kids and folks that are kind of involved in that activist role, doing things like that. We've also discovered, to the testimony too, here in the state, the Attorney General testified a couple years ago during HB 7070 that he didn't have any records of anything here in the States, as well as the Department of Health didn't have anything. And then again, through the depositions, the city of Hartford wasn't able to produce any of that, which was a little troubling because in my testimony here that's HB 7070 is attached to, from that year, we noticed that the mayor and the councilwoman Bermuda both said that they had dozens of complaints in the city of Hartford, but those complaints were not anywhere able to be documented or be produced. And so,
and I recognize that. I remember from sitting through those hearings. But the other thing I have to ask: does your organization have a way to receive complaints? Because we can all say, "Oh, we don't get any complaints" if we don't have a
sure. So I mean, we have internal mechanisms in our organization that we put in through surveys, and we do have a policy in place if we were to receive a complaint and how we would go about doing that. Interestingly enough, one of the big conversations that have come up here before was whether the CUPTA laws through the Department of Consumer Protection could actually do that for pregnancy centers. And so if currently on the website, you could go onto the website and file a complaint against the pregnancy center. And I believe I didn't check it this year, but last year we did check and verify that all the pregnancy centers were able to, you could file a complaint against them if you had a concern. And so that was the first concern, is whether you could do it. The second concern that's been raised was whether there was a gap in enforcement. And that was Attorney General Tong's words when he admits that it's likely there's a gap in enforcement. So one of the things that the pregnancy centers have been trying to lobby this committee to do and consider, but our request had been ignored, was to strengthen the CUPTA laws so we were not unfairly targeting faith-based pregnancy centers, and to strengthen them to make sure that if there is a gap in enforcement, that everyone in the state of Connecticut is included. We don't believe there is a gap in enforcement, but if there were, we'd ask, let's have that conversation, let's fix that gap, and that hasn't happened, and this has been several years now since this was raised. And instead of looking at that smaller, more simple, elegant solution, we're here again. Hopefully not for another 24 hours to talk about.
Yeah, I will say that I did look. All the pregnancy centers are listed on the I think it's DPH website. You can look at it. You can see the complaints, and I did not see any myself. And I actually went to all of the websites to try to take a look to see if I could, with an open mind, look to see if I could find anything that was considered to be deceptive in any way. So I want to thank you for your testimony, and I just wanted to see if you could please send us those documents that you have that would be helpful for the committee. Thank you.